I'm freaking in.
You are freaking in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is 9 p.m. Central. Wait, dang it.
That's it. Close the podcast. We're done
Shut
here.
it down.
We're done here. Shut
It
it down.
is 9 Eastern, 8 Central, Thursday night, the best night, one of the top 7 best nights of the week. We are here with more quarantine panels, which will continue until morale improves. But tonight, we have got a very fun topic, what near, I dare say, also dear to the hearts of children of a certain age, namely us. The Rankin-Bass cartoons. What we're going to do is we are going to have some, dare I say, fun and amusement with the Rankin-Bass characters. Now we'll let everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. We could do like what other various things upon the internet do and meander for 7 or 18 minutes before we actually get to the topic. But no, sir, not here at the quarantine panel. We are going to get right to it. Speaking of that, speaking of getting right to it, my co-conspirator, Mr. Green Christmas himself, Gary Mitchell. How are you, sir?
I am jolly.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
I'm also not watching Spider-Man No Way Home for this. I expect compensation.
This will be way better.
This is going to be...
Yeah. You will be compensated in the form of unwanted spoilers on Twitter, Gary.
Yes.
Hey, those started at like 9 a.m. So,
how did they see the movie? Who's? My kiddo is off of social media because she doesn't want any of the spoilers. So we're going. I swear we're going very soon, but not right now because there's a Criminal Minds marathon on, and she is watching that. But so Gary Mitchell, my co-conspirator, I'm so excited to be back with some of my favorite people, not all of them, because we can't fit all of them onto the StreamYard panel. But second up, one internet to my left, Kevin Eldridge. Welcome.
Hello. Oh man, it's great to be back here for some festive Rankin-Bass fierce competition. I am ready to go.
And one internet diagonally from me, welcome back, Kevin Cafferty, the other Kevin.
Hello, Joe, Gary, and Kevin. And unlike the Ramones, I do want to fight tonight about Rankin-Bass characters.
Nice reference, sir.
Yes.
Oh, and hello to Anthony Davis, who's watching in the comments.
Hey, Anthony. I am so excited that we are doing this. So,
and Felicity.
Felicity.
It's the mayor.
One of my top 2 favorite people in your household, Kevin. Depends. It goes back and forth. So, Kevin, tell us what we're doing tonight.
Well, this is Sci-Fi, which is a classics track tradition, and this is Rankin-Bass. So it's a giant, crazy tournament of Rankin-Bass Christmas holiday characters. We are going to determine the ultimate winner, Sci-Fighters style, in the world of Rankin-Bass. So what we have here is
Rankin-Bassiest.
We're ranking the bass, you could say.
We're adding a weird. We are. This is a ranking system for Rankin-Bass, correct? And we're going to add a weird new twist to it as well. But I have several Rudolph coffee mugs surrounding me everywhere I look. I have this one here. This Rudolph mug contains little slips of paper upon which the names of characters from the cartoon Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They're all in here. I have a Clarice mug.
Hello,
this contains
Clarice.
Names of a bunch of other best characters from other shows. So we're going to draw one name from each, and that will be our first matchup of the night, and we're just going to keep on going until there's nobody left. Well, I guess until there's one left. That'll be our winner. Mm-hmm. So drawing from the Rudolph mug. We have our first.
You're writing this down, right, Joe?
What?
I got it. I got it.
Is it the Bumble?
I'm
Mr.
multitasking.
Bumble.
That is the Bumble. Yes.
The Bumble.
Odd thing about Bumbles, I hear that they bounce.
That's what we heard.
They do. So if we go to the Clarice mug to see who will be facing the Bumble, I'm going to draw. Oh, I drew from the wrong mug. Hang on.
Oops.
I just drew from Rudolph.
Well, one of them should have a shiny nose. That should tip you off, right?
One has a shiny nose. One has a ribbon. We need a non-Rudolph character from the Clarice mug, although there may be a little overlap. Some characters qualify for both mugs, of course. All right, I have drawn Frosty.
Oh, no.
All right, Joe, you were pulling for Frosty to make an appearance. So
this is tough because
we have a snowman versus a snow monster.
Yeah, and we're not done. There's another wrinkle to the way we're doing this.
Oh.
And this is the way we do it on the Flopcast, which Joe and Gary have both experienced because you've been part of our Flopcast flop fight tournaments. We're bringing it to Sci-Fighters tonight. We added a whole new weird level to these tournaments, and that now the question is exactly what kind of competition will the Bumble and Frosty be doing? And so I've got the Hermie the Elf mug here, which is filled with different types of competitions.
Nice.
Yeah. So the Classics Track will always find and adapt new Sci-Fighter technology.
By the way, there's also a fourth mug here. There's the Bumble. I have a fourth mug as well. I have the Santa mug, which is filled with eggnog, which I will be sipping throughout the show. And at any moment, though, I have mugs mixed up and just start reaching into the eggnog to try to fish a name out. So watch for that. It's probably
I look forward to the eggnog entering the competition.
The competition we're starting with is gingerbread house construction.
Okay.
So who would be better at building a gingerbread house, Bumble or Frosty?
And we also have to mention that this is, I believe, the first time we've had our cavalcade of Kevin's? Conclave?
Yes. Conclave of Kevin's, perhaps?
Kevin and I have been on together before. Yes.
I think last year we did Weird Christmas together.
Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah.
So we're reassembling the conclave.
Yes. This year Christmas is going to be even weirder.
For the solstice.
You see, the power of the Kevin Conclave can only be convened annually.
The Christmas Kevin Conclave, but do not abbreviate that.
Yes, please, for the love of God.
So,
let us start with the alternate Kevin.
Alternate Kevin.
Well, the Bumble's very tall, so he could easily do like a gingerbread barn raising. Like he could build a full size gingerbread house. He could put the star on top of it. He could put gumdrops all over that thing. Frosty can only count to 5. If this was a belly whopping contest, I'd give it to Frosty.
Sure.
I got to give this one to the
as
Bumble.
As dim-witted as the Bumble seems to be, we've seen Frosty's intellectual capacity. Also, it's a good point, Kevin.
The Bumble can put stars on trees. It's not too much of a stretch from putting a star on a tree to putting a candy cane on a gingerbread house.
Yeah,
clearly he can follow construction instructions.
It's all he's good for now, since they ripped all his teeth out.
And that always sat wrong with me as a kid. Of like, wait a minute. First, you've this poor monster is now completely defenseless, and the second, he's still gonna want to. He still has claws. He can still fight people. He'll just gum you to death.
The Bumble didn't do anything wrong. The Bumble was not a villain. He was just a predator in the wild trying to survive.
Yeah, and now I
Look at
want to
this
see
flaw.
Bumble versus Schwarzenegger. But no, it was a bold stance for this show to say that evil resides in the teeth.
And he can decorate the gingerbread house with those teeth. He can put them along the edge.
Yeah, that's what we don't see in the alternate takes of Hermie wearing the necklace of Bumble teeth.
Yeah, Hermie was spreading that rumor about evil being in the teeth so that he could rip everybody's teeth out, right? I like Kevin's argument.
Here's the problem. As I've often quoted regarding constructing the gingerbread house, I refer to law enforcement, as I often do. In the very first Frosty the Snowman special, the officer in the middle of town, when they first come to town and they run through the intersection, the police officer says, it's my favorite Christmas special quote of all time. He goes, "Silly snowmen, once they come to life, they don't know nothing." So, police officer says snowmen don't snowmen don't know nothing. I'm gonna defer to his belief. I'm sure he's a grizzled police officer. He's seen everything.
He's seen some things.
Snowman. Oh, yeah. He's seen things.
He's seen things that make him swallow his own whistle.
Yes.
And I do love that it's the pronounced snowman.
Snowman.
Like he's a banker.
Yeah. Irving Snowman.
All right. Sounds like we're going the Bumble as far as gingerbread.
I'm giving, and I have to give it to the Bumble because the simple fact is Joe can, if you'll hoist up Frosty again there, the Bumble has fingers. Frosty does not. And it's hard to construct delicate things such as a gingerbread house with no digits.
There's a lot of stuff going on with Frosty that we'll have to address at a later date. Basically, the Frosty song, if you think about it, is a horror story.
There must have been some magic.
There must have been some magic.
Silk cat.
The old silk cat.
Clearly, it was cursed by a demon.
Yeah. Scariest of all is the line in the song that says, "He was as alive as he could be." That's not alive. That's as alive as he could manage.
Yep.
That's not saying.
You can still snuff him out quite easily by just slamming the door on that flower shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, we've got like a million of these.
Right. That was we
have bound to the Bumble.
Victory. Yes, easy opening round victory for the Bumble. Next, I'm gonna draw. We've drawn Clarice.
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 Hello. That's my favorite. I have a Christmas T-shirt. It's my favorite thing. It has Clarice and Hannibal Lecter, and it says "Hello, Clarice" on it. So many levels. But go ahead.
Nice. The two great Clarices in pop culture.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking
of Clarice,
when the cavalcade of Clarices get together.
From the Clarice's opponent shall be, oh my, this one barely fits on the paper. It's Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey.
Oh no. Oh, what could this competition be? This is
wow.
If the competition is depressing someone,
thank you.
Nestor's got it.
I think Nestor's owning this thing.
We did a Rankin-Bass panel at Dragon Con several years ago, and we decided on the spur of the moment, let's just dedicate half the allotted time to just watching Nestor, and that's what we did.
It was like, everyone is weeping. Everyone was miserable.
Yeah, really lifted our spirits.
So a classic track panel then. Everyone was miserable.
Yep, that's our goal. The competition is wassailing.
Oh, for a second I started to chant a CM Punk, but no, okay. Wassailing, not wassailing. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Or wrestling,
Which if you look up
say in
wassailing,
Alabama.
The two main definitions of wassailing, it's going door-to-door caroling, but there's also a definition that's just getting really drunk and making a lot of noise.
I like it.
Another fine Dragon Con tradition.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Yes. So this is
We
Clarice
should all.
and Nestor.
Clarice, I feel, has the better voice and the better song than Nestor.
Oh man, yeah, we've heard her sing. Lovely.
Oh,
There's always tomorrow.
It's a high point. Whereas if we're going by the getting drunk and making noise definition, I could see Nestor kind of taking that. And who has more
dumb cherub?
Who has more reason to be driven to the sauce?
Nestor's creepy pal, the dumb cherub.
Yeah,
I love the. This is a representative of heaven above. Dumb cherub. Who needs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Clarice clearly, I feel like, is going to run away with this, and not trip over her ears like Nestor.
Yeah, it's hard to. The ears don't really give you any advantage in the world of wassailing.
They don't. They do not.
Yeah. All right. I'm good with Clarice.
Kevin?
Yeah. All right, Clarice.
Clarice
moves on.
Yeah,
Clarice is our winner.
If I have to hear someone sing, I would rather it be Clarice.
Absolutely. And
there is no one I'd want on my wassailing team more.
As I recall, the actress, I forget her name, or the singer that recorded that track of Clarice's song, that was one take. She just came in and nailed that song beautifully.
Showed that Burl Ives what to do.
You know? Oh yeah, Burl.
Come on, Burl.
It was all week they were working with him. He's very, very
like,
a very angry man. I think he'd been doing a little bit too much wassailing that week, if you know what I mean. I'm making all of this up. I'm sure Burl was a
little too holly jolly.
Was a teetotaler.
All right, up next. This one, I made a point of including this one because it was a special request from Gary. Because man, there's so many characters. Just from Rudolph alone, we could have filled this tournament. But Gary made a special request that we include Charlie in the box.
Nobody wants a Charlie in the box.
That's so great.
It's one of the few impressions I can do.
The Misfit Toys.
I love it so much.
Oh, Charlie, sort of the spokesperson of all the Misfits. Did the most talking.
Indeed.
Until that creepy doll shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I always just felt so sad for him as a kid. Like, oh man, just because your name.
Can't you change the name Charlie in the box?
Yeah, really. Look, he worked hard for that identity.
It was only last week that I was watching Rudolph with my kids, and I was like, "What's wrong with the doll?" And I looked it up, and the doll is just like emotionally unavailable or something.
The doll has deep psychological problems. Absolutely,
stuff going on.
Yep, that doll has no business leaving that island ever. It will not go well. All right, from the other Clarice mug, we've drawn Charlie's opponent shall be the Heat Miser.
At last, our first miser.
Our first miser of the night has arrived.
Oh, Sherman, now you're just making me sad. The doll has PTSD from being unloved.
Oh, man.
That's just not cold.
He's not wrong. There's the Heat Miser. Look at that.
Indeed. All right, and what wild competition is Charlie and Mr. Heat Blister up to?
Let's see what they're doing. The competition is, this is a weird one, duet with David Bowie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Huh.
I know he was my request, and I love Charlie. He's my boy, but I don't think we should hear Charlie sing.
I think now we're going to have to, Gary. I think, let's see, there's got to be a line.
Pressure raining down on me.
Do you like the old songs too, David?
And I just made Jessa look at me sideways. So there we go. Mission
Come,
accomplished.
they told me.
Gary, I want to try it again. Do that again for Charlie in the Box, and we'll see how it goes. Do your Charlie thing again.
Do it.
Nobody
Peace
wants
on earth. Can you see?
Nobody wants peace on earth.
Nobody wants peace on earth.
Now, Heat Miser never really got a chance to duet. It almost feels like a duet because there's the Heat Miser version of the song, then there's the Snow Miser version, but they never actually had a back and forth singing together, which would have been pretty spectacular now in retrospect.
Yeah, we don't know how well Mr. Heat Miser does on the duets.
Yeah,
all we know
whereas
singing
Charlie is part of a crew,
and then he's got his creepy Heat minions backing him up.
So he's more of a frontman solo act than a duetist.
Yeah. But Charlie, we certainly didn't hear sing really. I mean, they were all singing together. All the Misfits sang their Island of Misfit Toys. So what a horrifying version of the Heat Miser. Oh, that's the minion.
That's a terrifying little creature, isn't it?
With a shovel. Look at that. He's going to dig your grave.
Everybody from the world of Rankin-Bass is in Joe's house right now.
Mm-hmm.
Joey, are you at the North Pole? You seem to just be in this magical.
I actually am.
Joe is actually stop motion animated.
The Island of Misfit Toys is in Alabama. I don't know if you.
I was going to say you were in the Island of Misfit Track Directors.
Oh, that is a very large island. So anyway,
I was going to say, I get Gary's point about Heat Miser kind of being a scene-stealing diva, but you look at the people who David Bowie duetted with in the past: Freddie Mercury, Mick Jagger, Der Bingle. So clearly Bowie can make it work with folks like the Heat Miser who want to be the star of their show. I think Bowie can hold his own.
Yeah, I would absolutely rise to the occasion. Yes,
I would love to see these two on a song together.
I agree. I agree 100%. I feel like the Heat Miser. I think the Heat Miser probably has a lot in common with Mick Jagger, and I feel like, or Keith Richards. I feel like David Bowie, though, he could look, we got to sing Dancing in the Streets, buddy. You need to calm down.
Well, if Bowie brings his labyrinth hair, he and the Heat Miser will be
twins.
Yeah, they kind of match.
Basically twins.
All right. Sounds like we got.
Or as Felicity just pointed out, Bowie is Ziggy Stardust, the red hair.
Yes.
Is
Ziggy Stardust and the Miser from Mars?
Is David Bowie both the Heat Miser and the Snow Miser?
You just blew my mind. But I think we're giving it to the Heat Man.
Yeah.
Go to Heat Miser. Yeah. Yes. All right, we're
going Heat Miser.
Absolutely. Up next from Rudolph, we have. Well, we're still on the Island of Misfit Toys because I have also drawn King Moonracer.
Oh my goodness!
Love that guy.
What is his deal?
There's nothing weirder than King Moonracer.
There's so many layers.
There's a lot going on with King Moonracer.
You could write a 10-volume fantasy series just about whatever his backstory is.
You see, he's Aslan's stepbrother.
Yeah.
I think we should do that just to make the Rankin-Bass guy furious.
The way that the Misfits explain King Moonracer to Rudolph and his friends, it makes no sense at all. They say every night King Moonracer flies all over the world and finds Misfit toys and brings them to this island. Then when they meet with King Moonracer, he says, could you do me a favor? If you ever get back to Christmas Town, tell Santa about our island because he could find homes for these stuff. You go out every night and fly all over the whole world.
Well, you see, he's good at finding the toys. He's not good at finding homes.
He's like dragging them back to the island.
You know, he's like that person that just can't figure out how to swipe right.
Come to my island where I will employ you as a bellhop.
I mean, it has me questioning, his very motivations. Does he really want homes for these misfits, or he just wants his own mad kingdom there with the elephant?
I feel like since he flies all over the world, he could get to the North Pole and go, Santa, look,
Of course.
Well, ever since the restraining order came from Mrs. Claus.
But look, I'm a talking lion, Santa.
Santa would shoot him down when he got within 300 feet.
Either that or Moonracer saw what they did to the Bumble and was like, oh. I've seen what they do to people with sharp teeth in this town.
We have so many questions about King Moonracer, some of which will be answered tonight. Probably not all of them. One thing we have to find out is who is King Moonracer facing in competition, and that will be Jessica, aka Mrs. Santa Claus.
So this is from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Jessica.
This can be everything. This can be young school teacher Jessica, or this could be later on Year Without a Santa Claus. Well, it's all the same character. It's Mrs. Claus. It's Jessica. So you can draw from whatever aspect of this character you like.
There we go.
Wow, Joe, just coming through every time. Look at that. There's Jessica. Lovely. I like that part in Santa Claus is Coming to Town where she has like this hippie freak out moment where like suddenly she's by the fountain. They cut to regular animation instead of stop motion, and it's the
it's like
psychedelic colors swirling everywhere.
Suddenly she's Stevie Nicks.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Now I want to see
she
that.
Went full Nicks for just a few seconds. All right, let's see what the competition is this time. Between King Moonracer and Jessica Claus, the competition is Charlie Brown Christmas Dancer.
Nice. I like it.
I feel like the young Jessica.
Yeah.
During her Stevie Nicks freak out, and like she seems like, she shows up a bit tightly wound, but I feel like once she gets loose.
At first, she was like John Lithgow in Footloose. There'd be no dancing in Somber Town. But by the end, certainly.
But once she gets going, once Schroeder starts playing that piano, I think she would go for it. Whereas King Moonracer, I don't know if he dances.
Okay, everybody, let's all do it together. Do 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 do.
Yeah, I think it's got to be her.
Peace on earth.
What dance do you think she'd do? Like the sleepwalking kid or the looking over your shoulder dance? Great dances to pick from.
I think she'd do the
the twins.
She would definitely
the twins.
do that.
Yeah, the waving twins. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas I don't think that King Moonracer would be able to I think he'd just get confused. Left foot forward. I have two left feet. Which one?
Yeah. King Moonracer would start eyeballing the children on him, and he'd be like, "Are you a misfit?" And then he just snatches you up and carries you away.
Yeah, he's like,
"That's it." He loses by default because he flies off with Woodstock.
So which of the peanuts would he decide is the biggest misfit?
I'm going with Woodstock. What's wrong with this little bird? You have no beak.
All right, sounds like King Moonracer is out, and Jessica Claus shall advance.
Yes, indeed.
All right, that is our first 4 opening rounds. Should we just jump over to the other bracket and keep doing opening rounds, or do we want to determine? Okay.
Yes, round 1. We're
going to stick with all opening rounds to start. So back to Rudolph. I've drawn Rudolph.
Rudolph!
Rudy had to show up.
Yep.
Rudy.
Rudolph, and from the Clarice mug, Rudolph's going up against.
He is kind of the heavy hitter.
Rudolph is facing the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Oh no!
Ooh. This
I'd
just
love
got
to
serious.
see those two go at it.
This just got. Rudolph is gonna. Rudolph ain't gonna take any of this dude's crap.
All right, so this is a case where the nature of the competition makes all the difference in the world, because these are drastically opposed characters, of course.
That's right.
The competition shall be all right. The competition is Grinch style cleaning out Whoville. You're gonna sneak down into Whoville and just steal everything.
Ooh. I feel like the Burgermeister Meisterburger would have the zest for it that Rudolph wouldn't. Like, that's really something the Burgermeister Meisterburger would love to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the
clean
evil
out Whoville.
The evil.
Yeah,
he's super into it.
He's cleaning out toys. This is just everything else associated with that.
It's very
right. Yeah,
Rudolph will.
Burgermeister definitely has a roast beef. He definitely has a history of getting rid of toys. So really,
this is
perfectly suited to the job. Now, just from a physical perspective, Rudolph is probably the more athletic of the two of them, and that this requires no small amount of dexterity to pull off such a feat all in one night. And Burgermeister is in a cast half the time because he's constantly slipping on roller skates. There he is. See that?
Mm-hmm. Well, does he have his soldiers then? Does he have access to his soldiers that run around and yank yo-yos from poor helpless children?
Yes. He has his creepy mustache twirling foot soldiers. Absolutely. So sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're allowed to use an assistant. You know, the Grinch had Max. The Burgermeister has all his soldiers.
Here is where I think the Burgermeister is going to get hung up. When little Cindy Lou Who comes out and catches him in the act, the Burgermeister is not going to have the presence of mind that the Grinch did to come up with that story about bringing the tree back, and then he's just going to fold. He's going to fold like a house of cards. Whereas Rudolph, who's got more credibility than Rudolph with this kid, Rudolph will be like, of course I'm bringing it back to Santa. I'm goddamn Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Burgermeister would freak out and wake up all of Whoville as he's screaming.
The Burgermeister would go, of course I'm stealing all this stuff. What's wrong with you? This has to go.
You little jerk.
Even if he wakes up all the other Whos, I think they would just let him steal everything. You know, they seem to be cool with.
They're so nice.
Everything that happens.
His soldiers have guns.
There is that too. Yeah.
I didn't see anyone in Whoville with a weapon.
They're going to be like, look, take the stuff if you need it. Look. And the Burgermeister, well, I don't really need it. I just don't want you to have it.
All right. I think
so. Based on the Cindy Hulu factor, are we giving it to Rudolph?
I think I'm giving it to Rudolph.
Oh, really?
I feel like you got to give it to Rudolph because Rudolph is like, as you said, Kevin, Rudolph is going to be like, of course I'm going to bring it back. And Cindy Lou's like, okay, well, cool. I'm just going to toddle off to bed then.
It would be tough, though. I think this would be this is our toughest competition yet. I think the Burgermeister would have a lot of zeal, and he'd really try 120%, but I still think that would not be enough against Rudolph.
No. As we remember, as we know from the only way to defeat the Burgermeister is through attrition. He didn't lose at the end of the episode. Yeah. He just eventually died.
Yeah, they just kind of gloss over that at the end. Oh, they kind of fell out of power eventually. Like what?
Eventually, not
centuries
that night.
Bloodshed leading up to that.
Yeah, not that night or the next day.
It's an important lesson for children to learn and keep in mind that one day your enemies will die.
Yep,
and then you'll be okay.
And
Happy holidays, everybody. By the way,
exactly.
Okay,
so Rudolph
is the winner. Okay. All right, Rudolph advances. And speaking of Rudolph, here's the Rudolph mug. To draw our next competitor will be Rudolph's buddy, Hermie the elf.
Hermie's
in this thing.
We've already covered his tooth collection.
I dare say Hermie, the villain of the entire Rankin-Bass universe. Very low key.
Sure. I mean, I don't think Hermie's even really an elf. Explains. Work with me. It explains a lot. He doesn't have pointy ears. Hermie's ears are round human ears, and that's why he's so awful at making toys. He's not an elf. He's not. So he's
basic. So are we saying Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a prequel to Elf?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, I've always said that. I mean, Mr. Narwhal, the whole thing easily fits within the Rankin-Bass continuity.
Yep. Let's see who Hermie is.
If you want to subscribe to my newsletter later, then we'll get into that.
You have a dedicated Hermie newsletter?
Yeah.
I would totally subscribe to that. Hermie is going up against Santa Claus.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
You know?
Whoa.
So this is, I mean, Santa was in Rudolph, of course, but then the more classic Rankin-Bass Santa is from the later shows, the Mickey Rooney voice.
Can this be the young Santa from the one with the Burgermeister as well? Because that's a strapping young Santa.
That's the only Rankin-Bass Santa who's not a jerk, too.
Yeah.
And Rankin-Bass, most Rankin-Bass Santas are really horrible people.
So it could be
the same character because we see there he is.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, that's I like Sherman's point just raised. Hermie and Santa both had the same ear shape. Hermie was Santa's factory floor snitch.
Yes.
Or, however, now I think we should use this Santa, but there's always the possibility that we could go with Pimp Suit Santa from
Year Without a Santa Claus.
From Year Without a... Check out that man. Look at that.
Santa,
look at that stuff.
Around in Southtown.
What's up?
That is a man who has spent some time on a riverboat.
Yep. And it is the same character. This is the older version of that young red-haired dude from Santa Claus Is Coming to Town. They're both voiced by Mickey Rooney, who also voiced Santa again in Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. So that's your classic.
Here's what I want to ask. The Santa in 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That seems like a different character.
That seems very different. Yeah. 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 That's just strictly like the poem version of Santa.
Yeah. Let's put aside Pimp Juice Santa.
That's fantastic.
Anthony Davis is positing in the comments that Hermie's a half-breed, kind of like Tanis Half-Elven from Dragonlance.
Oh, nice reference, sir. Good reference.
Excellent.
It's Hermie versus Santa. The competition is Ugly Sweater.
Oh. Ooh. I'm going to say, that's tough.
You just demonstrated Santa's fashion prowess moments ago.
Yes, I feel like Santa's got the ugly sweater thing locked down because Hermie, he's just a uniform guy, and he's focused on his dentistry. He doesn't have time for post-work shenanigans with ugly sweaters at wacky parties.
Although if he made the sweater, it would be atrocious. He's bad at making things.
It would have teeth.
Yes. What are those, rhinestones? No. Bumble teeth.
It's the teeth of the Bumble. Yes, knitted right into Hermie's sweater. Wow.
But
this sweater will chew you up and spit you out.
But I think Handsome Devil Santa is going to rock a sweater.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be like, man, I got this.
That dude's got some sartorial flair. I think Santa's got this.
And you know what the young Santa, what his move would be? Like there'd be a wanted poster up with his picture because Santa was wanted by the Burgermeister, and then he'd turn around and say, well, these posters aren't going to help anymore. Now I'm wearing an ugly sweater.
Boom.
He grew this just barely tiny little beard, and he was like, this poster's no good anymore. That still clearly looks exactly like me.
I forgot about the little dinky beard. The little peach fuzz
mustache yet, and he was like, "Posters are useless." I bet he'd do the same thing. They could put on a sweater and say, "There."
Well, they'll never make new posters.
Well, maybe that's fair, the Burgermeister is not the brightest guy.
Oh no,
that's the origin of the tradition of the ugly Christmas sweater.
Yes.
So we're gonna go. We're giving this to Santa as the superior sweater wearer. Then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
That sets up a feud for the ages in the next round, but we'll get
to be some interesting matches coming up, but we're still in our opening rounds, and next we have this is one of my very favorites. We've drawn the Boss Elf.
Why
hasn't someone done Undercover Boss with him?
Oh, come on. Why have they not?
I love the boss elf so much. Something of a hothead. And I like how he immediately switches from freaking out hothead boss to cowering, sniveling underling as soon as Santa comes around. He can snap back and forth. He knows how to play the game, and that's why he's risen to the very upper echelons of elf middle management.
He's perfect middle management. He knows how to suck up to the people above him and just ruthlessly step on the people below him.
Exactly.
Yep.
He gets
see the comment from Felicity in the comments? The tenor section was weak.
Yes.
I can assure you, Felicity quotes that line from the boss elf all year round. we like to enjoy just for no reason. We like to scream out the tenor section was weak. Very true. Let's see who the boss elf is going up against.
The boss elf needs to worry about the great resignation of nowadays. He needs to start having some stay conversations with people.
Those elves are going to unionize any day now.
100%.
Things are changing.
Can you imagine HR on the North Pole?
Yep. All right. The boss elf.
The HR though, but the HR at the North Pole stands for Hermie and Rudolph.
And they're going to be no help at all.
None.
Boss elf is facing the Winter Warlock.
Oh.
Now, is this evil Winter Warlock or just Winter?
Either way.
Yeah, because he does become a good guy at the end.
He becomes a good guy and he loses all his magical powers, which to me does not
we'll
seem
have to
like
see what they come
that great a trade-off.
He loses his edge. He loses his spark. He loses his zest for life for horrifying everyone that dares to walk through the forest.
Gary, which one is the Winter Warlock?
Man, Winter Warlock's a sellout.
Well, Joe, you at least at this point have better hair.
At this point.
Yes.
At this point.
The only thing that the Winter Warlock gained in his transformation to just Winter was that he could walk around. He could put one foot in front of the other.
Correct.
He was just rooted in place there in the forest before, but he was still much cooler as a warlock.
I see what you did there.
All right, we got Boss
Elf. That took me a minute. Good night, everybody.
Boss Elf versus Winter Warlock. The competition. Competition is Ghost of Christmas Future.
Oh,
the Winter Warlock would be a really good Ghost of Christmas Future.
He's already got. Well,
he's got the robe.
Got the robe.
The robe.
Got the
points
long, like this
creepy hand pointing. Yep. Yeah, this seems like a slam dunk. I'm so sorry for the boss elf.
Boss elf is just going to yell at you. Why haven't you got your stuff together yet?
The boss elf would be a good Jacob Marley.
Yeah,
and he could probably be a decent Scrooge. But if I'm casting Ghost of Christmas Future, Winter Warlock is on the call sheet.
You got to go with this guy. Look, he's like, look, I got this.
I'm scary looking. Look at me.
Like, look, let's go visit your future grave.
I come back to you now at the turn of the tide. That's the next one of these.
Wake up in just a moment and go send a young man out to get turkey.
All right, this is an easy
victory. As big as me.
Winter Warlock. Winter Warlock is our winner. We've got just one opening round left. There are but a single name left in each of my reindeer mugs here. So from the Rudolph mug, our final contestant. This is a big one, though. It's Yukon Cornelius.
Oh, that is a rugged adventurer.
The man who knew to let someone else sing his song.
I feel like Yukon Cornelius just turned everybody else into underdogs in this thing.
Yep. Agreed.
He's got a pickaxe for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, there he is. Yukon. I thought this was going to be an easy one, but absolutely not, because Yukon is facing the Snow Miser.
What?
Mr.
That is
White
tough.
Christmas.
All right. If they were just going head to head, Yukon would just be coming at him with the ice pick, just picking away. And that might not end well for the Snow Miser, but we don't know what's going to happen. We're going to go to the Hermie mug. The competition between Yukon Cornelius and the Snow Miser. Competition is Clark Griswold Christmas lights. Who would do a better job of stringing up the National Lampoon's Vacation House?
Oh, that's a tough one. Because Mr. White Christmas could stay out all night in the cold and put those lights
Yeah,
up.
it's no problem.
But
He's a
Yukon
showman.
does. Yeah. But Yukon does have that nice puffy coat.
Yukon would try and get the dogs to help him, and they wouldn't do anything.
The dogs wouldn't even pull the dog sled. They're certainly not going to decorate Clark Griswold's house.
He'd keep
Why is
throwing
the
that
floor wet,
pickaxe.
Todd? Why is the floor wet, Todd?
Keep throwing that
I don't
pickaxe
know,
in the
I
air.
Yeah, I mean, Snow Miser is certainly a showman. I see how he could appreciate the spectacle of that house just completely covered in light.
And Yukon Cornelius is a working man. He's a hard working man.
Yukon Cornelius is outside of the Snow Miser's house and yelling, "The shitter's full."
Yeah, he's that there's an RV.
Yeah, Yukon does look rather Randy Quaid-ish, doesn't he?
Yes.
He is.
Felicity is commenting that Yukon might get electrocuted. Absolutely, Yukon might get electrocuted.
Oh, 100%.
Flings that pickaxe into the air and just lets it crash down right on the live wires.
And then he licks it.
Yes, then he licks it.
I feel like this might be the death of Yukon Cornelius.
We have just witnessed.
Yeah, hang on.
Snow Miser would do that thing where he sets the Christmas lights up to like synchronized music.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
it'll be amazing.
It will do his song, and he has his little frozen minions to actually help him.
Yeah. See, Clark Griswold had no help. Zero help.
No, and canonically in the song, he says, "Friends call me Snow Miser." So he has a lot of friends.
He has buds, pals, a crew.
And he does kind of look a little Chevy Chase-ish.
He really
does.
Like somebody left Chevy out too long after the filming was done.
We're gonna be the
if Chevy Chase starred in The Shining.
Yes.
The happiest bunch of assholes.
All right, this one's got to go to Snow Miser.
Yep.
And that was our final opening round. So we are moving. We're advancing to the next round now. Now the winners of our opening rounds shall be facing each other. And that means first we have the Bumble versus Clarice.
Oh.
Whoa.
He was already menacing her in the actual show.
Yeah, the Bumble has a history with. They have a history together, don't they?
Yeah.
These two have tussled before.
The Bumble very nearly ate Clarice.
She's like, again? Why?
Oh, and Felicity points out both the misers are in play. We may get some miser on miser action here.
As they
should.
should
get interesting as we advance. Let's see what Clarice and Let's see what Clarice and the Bumble are doing. Competition is nipping at your nose.
Well,
Bumble doesn't have teeth.
Bumble, I was about to say that. Bumble doesn't have teeth, so it's more gumming.
Jack Frost
Reindeer
gumming at your
vicious.
nose. Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it.
And Clarice is already like talking to Rudolph, like, I think it's a fine nose. So it's on
That's
her
true.
mind.
Yeah, she's into noses.
She has a fetish.
She's got a nose
thing. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So
This
I think
kinda
we're giving
sounds
it to
like
Clarice.
Yeah, it's one of those upsets, that
I feel like we're gonna have to give it to Clarice because
absolutely.
So we're picking Clarice for the nose.
Yeah.
Gary,
Yes.
come on.
Oh, there he goes. This happens every time. Gary gets banished to the
Okay,
island of
fine.
Misfit Toys. Hey, he's
I
back.
was in the jolly place.
It's a Christmas miracle. Gary's back.
Classics Track Phantom Zone that Gary knows all too well. There he goes.
If I don't end up there at least once, the people riot.
Yeah, it's You gotta give. Gary knows you gotta give the people what they want.
Yep. Our next round is the Heat Miser versus Mrs. Claus.
Ooh.
Mrs. Claus has got it going on.
Me and Mrs. Claus.
I'll tell you, man, in those early Santa Claus is coming to town scenes, Jessica's a stone fox.
She is.
Lovely young lady. Sure.
Yeah.
She is a lovely young lady.
Bit of an attitude until you give her the doll, the China doll. Once she gets that doll, then she just melts. The hair comes down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when the hair comes down. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's Heat Miser versus Mrs. Claus, and the competition.
And they faced off before as well in the special.
These two have a history too.
She was a more experienced
in the Rankin-Bass cinematic universe.
Yep.
These
characters, there's a lot of history between these characters.
A lot of history.
The competition this time is get Chewbacca home for Life Day.
Glorious.
Heat Miser doesn't like to travel. We know that.
No. He doesn't care if Chewbacca gets home or not.
No.
Whereas
Jessica,
Mrs.
on the other hand,
Claus,
Jessica's going to drop everything.
Hey, Mrs. Claus went to New Orleans in the 60s.
This is a woman who gets things done.
Mrs. Claus gets things done. Exactly.
I would love to see the Heat Miser duet with B. Arthur in the cantina.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
but can't you see Mrs. Claus running into Han Solo and going, "So, you want to be Han Claus?"
Jessica shot first.
The only thing I could see is maybe Heat Miser gets Chewbacca there. They all go into that glowy orb with the robes, and Heat Miser's like, Princess Leia clearly has a lot of cocaine on her, and I want in on that.
Look at his nose.
Yeah,
look at his nose.
Yeah,
look at the nose. He's like, look, I got to make something happen right now.
Yeah, if Heat Miser gets wise to what Life Day is actually like when you get to the final ceremony, he might be into that. That might really motivate Heat Miser to get to the party.
And which one do we want to see duet more? Heat Miser and Princess Leia, or Mrs. Claus and Princess Leia?
I always want to see Heat Miser over.
I gotta say though, these are 70s icons. The Altered State Princess Leia and Stevie Nicks style Jessica Claus. Come on.
I don't know. It's hard, like when I watch Year Without a Santa Claus, and I watch it with my kids now, and as soon as the Miser brothers show up, you're like, yeah, and then whenever they're not on screen, you just start thinking, well, where are the Miser brothers? I wonder what they're doing.
Why are they not?
Why are they not in the whole thing? So I don't know. So my heart wants to vote Heat Miser on this.
I got a strong contender, Gary.
I am really torn. I am really, really torn, but I think Heat Miser is actually going to go because he's turning Sith. Look at him. He's a rage issue. Yeah.
He's got stuff going on. I say Heat Miser.
Yeah. Like setting aside, I want to help Chewbacca. He doesn't care about Chewbacca, but he does want to get to Life Day.
Yeah. He's got there's stuff going on. He's got to get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that means it's Heat Miser advancing.
Okay.
Uh-oh. And next we're going to have, this is Rudolph versus Santa. And man, there's some
my gosh.
There's some bad blood between these two. What Rudolph put
up we knew this had to happen.
Yeah. It was inevitable.
It was inevitable. This is like some Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage stuff right here. This is
Won't you pull my sleigh tonight? I don't think I will, because you didn't care about me until I was useful.
Santa was a monster through the
seriously
the first 90% of the show.
And then, you know what, Rudolph? It just so happens
Suddenly, your freakish deformity suits my needs.
I happen to need you for this one thing.
And my personal headcanon is that the New Year's Eve storyline is simply Santa trying to kill Rudolph by sending him on a suicide mission.
He doesn't want him to come back.
Yeah, he's like, I got my use out of him. The winter storm is not happening again. I got to get rid of this thing.
I get that. What do you suppose Rudolph and Santa will be? Let's see. Next, I have
to say that.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say, I am disappointed that there's not been more eggnog.
I cannot believe you just said that, Gary, because the competition I just drew was eggnog drinking contest.
I think
everybody in the comments is going to be going, "This is rigged! This is rigged! Rigged!"
I'm picturing like Karen Allen at that opening scene in Raiders. You know, like a no fooling around at the table, piles of shot glasses, eggnog drinking contest.
You know that Santa is a man who's pounded some nog.
He has pounded. That's a man that can hold his eggnog because he has to.
Yep. I have a Santa full of nog right here, right now.
Yeah, he's got to get all the way around the world. I mean, technically, Rudolph has to also, since they are co-workers. He's got to get all around the world, going into every house. But I guess technically, though, he could get a bathroom break. He could swoop into a bathroom.
No.
Rudolph is stuck on the roof.
Working for Santa is like working for Amazon. Rudolph's having to go in a cup. He's having to go in a water bottle in the route.
In Tom Lehrer's Christmas song, it ends when singing about flying reindeer across the sky. Don't stand underneath as they fly by.
This is a true story. A couple of years ago, I worked for the post office during the Christmas season because I apparently am an idiot. But it was a part-time gig, and by part-time they meant 6 days a week for 10 hours a day, and that was awesome. And come to find out, there were no bathrooms inside the warehouse. It was winter. We had to go to a porta-john outdoors. So when you get all of your Christmas packages, remember, people almost died to get you those. And 2 years ago, it was me. I almost died. But I'm okay now and rather warm. Anyways, let's say this. I feel like Gary Santa's pounded some nog. I feel like Santa's got this one. Rudolph's not as experienced. Not as experienced.
And as we all know,
come over here for a second.
Reindeer are lactose intolerant.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's ask this young child here who's just got here. Cleo, who do you think would win in an eggnog drinking contest? Santa Claus or Rudolph?
What did you say?
Who do you think would win? Who do you think could drink more eggnog? Santa Claus or Rudolph?
It's tough.
She's weighing her options.
But I think Santa.
All right, Cleo's going with Santa.
I think
the expert has spoken.
Yes,
it's way past your bedtime.
The children know more than we do. The children know what a miserable alcoholic Santa Claus is. Yes.
All right.
That means we're moving on next to the Winter Warlock versus the Snow Miser.
Ooh, ice on snow action.
Yep. But what are they doing?
I want them to form a new romantic singing group together.
Yeah. The Blue Boys.
Sort of in the neighborhood, perhaps, then, Kevin, because the competition between the Winter Warlock and the Snow Miser competition is being a Lord a-leaping.
Okay.
All right. A miser is a nobleman, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
That dude can leap too.
He totally can leap.
But
he leaps all over the place in that song.
Winter Warlock, he's just now
can't
getting
walk.
He just learned how to. Yeah, just
Putting
Yeah.
one foot in front of
just
the
learned
other.
how to walk like 5 minutes ago.
This is kind of pardon the pun. This is kind of a handicapped competition. In this case,
I can see the Winter Warlock going, "You mock me, and just storms out. Well, walks
Literally
out,
storms
one
out.
foot in front of the other.
he does. He storms out with 1 foot in front of the other.
Meanwhile, Snow Miser's leaping away in the background.
He's cavorting.
Yeah, that's a good word. We don't
He's
use it.
gadding madly about.
You might say he's too much.
Indeed.
This looks like another.
This
easy
is a
victory.
guy. That's a guy who is too much.
Another easy.
That's a
one for
man
the
who's
Snow
done
Miser,
his
I
share
think.
of leaping.
All right.
right,
So
Snow Miser obviously is advancing. So now we're going back to our the semifinal rounds now, and first we have Clarice, the reindeer, versus the Heat Miser.
guys, both misers have made it into the finals,
The semifinals.
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 Okay, so
I think they
he's-
were early favorites.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, look at Kevin. His background.
Come on.
The banner for this very quarantine panel.
True.
Yep.
Yeah.
Certainly favorites going into this thing, and they have not disappointed thus far. Now the Heat
Not a bit.
Miser is facing Clarice, the lady reindeer. But what are they doing? The competition is carve the roast beast.
Okay.
Clarice has hooves.
Clarice cannot handle opposable. She has no opposable thumbs. She's just got hoofs.
And,
She'd
and
have to,
she's
like-
going to be horrified at it. This might be somebody she knows.
It might be somebody she.
We don't know where the Who's go to capture,
We have
stalk,
no
and
idea.
kill that roast beast. That might be right outside of Christmas Town, up there by the North Pole.
This could be some other failure at the reindeer games.
Well, yet this is what happens if you lose the reindeer games. Shipping you off to Whoville, buddy.
The roast
And
beast
I'll
might
get
be
the frolic in Whoville.
roast beast might be Rudolph's
Sort
stupid
of.
friend. It might be
Yes,
Rudolph-
you do get to frolic in Whoville. Wink, wink.
Wow. Well, what do you think, guys?
The only other thing I think is like maybe the Heat. I don't see the Heat Miser as the sort of person who uses cutlery. I think he
True.
just grabs that roast beef and bites into it.
Yeah,
beast,
yeah.
The roast beast would just melt in his clutch, if you will.
That's true.
Indeed.
Yeah. Clarice
You-
is smart. She could like anchor it with an antler and then like put the knife in her mouth and
Oh man, that sounds.
That she used
grisly.
to nibble your nose.
yeah. I think it's a fine flank steak.
But you know, Heat Miser doesn't even need cutlery to do this. You know, his own heated
He
hands
could, yeah.
just slice right through.
He can
Oh,
like
but-
shoot laser beams kind of out of his eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that he has very fine human torch-like control of his heat powers.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
Sort of like Darkseid and his Omega beams.
Mm-hmm.
He could,
Ooh,
he could carve and cook the roast beast at the same time.
look, we got to go Heat Miser.
I
Heat
think so.
Miser.
Mhm.
All right, Heat Miser advances. Now let's go over to
Clarice becomes the roast beast.
Clarice. Yeah.
Oh, Clarice.
There's always tomorrow, Clarice.
Maybe not. Maybe
no,
there
maybe
isn't.
Not. That's
Whoa.
it. There's no more tomorrow.
We've got Santa Claus facing the Snow Miser next.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is another tough one. Well, depending on what they're doing.
That's the crazy random factor in this is
Mhm.
it's all within the Hermie mug here.
I think Clarice was a dark horse. I think she went far. She has nothing to be ashamed of.
Nope.
Yeah, now
nope,
she's
nope.
charred
Final
horse.
four.
You
Final
know,
four.
I wasn't going to reveal this because I didn't want to taint the jury, if you will. But we did a Rankin-Bass competition like this on my podcast on the Flopcast last year, and the
Mhm.
winner the final winner was Clarice.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, she beat everybody.
Upset.
Yep. Anyway, and right now we have Santa Claus versus the Snow Miser, and the competition is the dog dare. You got to lick the flagpole.
I feel like the Snow Miser would be immune to the ice.
Yeah.
Well, he would lick it, and it would stick to him instead of him sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is his thing. Right?
And then he
It's
gets like
frozen
the whole
cold stuff.
deal.
He'd tap it would turn into another Snow Miser minion.
Yeah. Basically, the Snow Miser looks at that flagpole and goes, I got this.
Yep.
This is my thing.
I visited in Indiana. There's a visitor center in Indiana, and outside the building, they have a statue of the Christmas Story kid with his tongue stuck to the flagpole.
No way.
Magnificent.
That's glorious.
Yeah, that's really good.
So did you lick it?
I did. I'm still there. I could not get out.
Oh.
Yep.
He's still stuck there.
I never got away. Snow Miser versus Santa. This is looking like the Snow Miser's game here. How could he lose?
Santa's super magic-y and stuff, but look.
He also caught a cold.
He did catch a cold.
Easily brought down by a mild cold. Yes.
And he's like, oh, Mrs. Claus.
Oh, cancel Christmas.
Cancel Christmas.
One that can't travel
in the world, Mrs. Claus.
One nasty letter to the editor from a mouse makes him give up. Santa throws in the towel at a moment's notice.
He's like, look, I can't.
No, he's not even going to get to the pole to lick it. He's just going to look and go, no, I'm out. Cancel Christmas. I'm out.
Forget it. And then Mrs. Claus is like, you son of a bitch. Get back to work.
Well, guys, this is pretty.
Meanwhile, over there is the ice mask.
He's all over it, so to speak. I think it was always meant to happen. I think we're down to
we've reached the final round, and this is Miser versus Miser.
This is brother against brother.
The inevitable,
as it was foretold.
As it was foretold, this nations have been torn apart for less.
Absolutely. Just as a reminder, the Heat Miser's path to the finals, he defeated Charlie in the Box by duetting with David Bowie. Then he defeated Mrs. Claus by delivering Chewbacca to Life Day. Then he defeated Clarice with the Roast Beast. Snow Miser, meanwhile, defeated Yukon Cornelius, setting up the Griswold lights. Then defeated the Winter Warlock by being a Lord a-leapin'. And then, of course, defeated Santa in sticking his tongue to the flagpole. That was the path to the finals. That's where we've arrived. It didn't have to end this way.
No.
This was randomized. They could have both been in the same bracket. That could have easily happened, but this was meant to be. Here they are. It's come down to the brothers.
This is science. This is we got four learned individuals, and we address the scientific knowledge, the assembled scientific knowledge of all four of our ginormous brains.
Oh, you met us. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering where the other four podcasters were.
Only these four have wasted so much time thinking about
Yep.
I chose to do this instead of watch Spider-Man.
Yep. But this was the right choice, Gary. Come on.
Yes.
Admit it.
Oh, it absolutely was.
Yes. All right. So there have never been two more evenly matched competitors in the history of Sci-Fighters, I dare say. However,
they cancel each other out.
We do have one twist, though, that may tip things in favor of one brother over the other, and that's, of course, there's one final slip of paper left in my Hermie mug.
It all comes down to Hermie.
Let's see.
Hermie's going to decide.
In his tooth sweater.
Our final competition. Competition is playing the wash tub bass in a jug band.
Oh. I'm sorry, but I got to give that to our boy Heat Miser. He looks like a wash tub guy.
Yeah.
I feel like Heat Miser would fit in more with the River Bottom Nightmare Band.
Sure.
And maybe Snow Miser, who's a bit more of the affable sort, would fit in more with the Jug Band, with the Frogtown Hollow Jug Band.
That is true. Snow Miser.
You make an excellent point.
And they're already freezing cold and miserable, so the Snow Miser can't.
Oh, he fits right in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Snow Miser has friends. Like he says, friends call me Snow Miser. Heat Miser says they call me Heat Miser. He doesn't have any friends.
No.
They. No, he didn't say my friends call me Heat Miser. It's those jerks call me Heat Miser.
Yeah.
I gotta say yeah.
I have to agree with that. Heat Miser will run off with the Nightmare River Bottom Band.
Yeah.
The River Bottom
and win the contest.
They would drag him along on their criminal activities, such as
talent show winning performance. So Heat Miser wins the talent show. Snow Miser, I think, maybe wins this competition.
Agreed. Because
and then 5 years from now, behind the music, we hear about that cocaine run that broke up the Nightmare Band.
Yeah, this is not our Battle of the Fictional Bands situation. This is
serious.
Serious.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're playing the wash tub bass. I feel like we got a Snow Miser win, right?
Yeah. You guys have talked this through logically.
Logic.
We've applied only the highest levels of rigor.
Yep. There was rigor. Absolutely.
The most rigor.
Most.
Yeah.
I always take my rigor with a twist of lime.
And we took that rigor, and now we have determined, I believe, that our winner is going to be the Snow Miser.
Yep. There you go. Wow.
He is, as they say, gentlemen, he is too
He's
much.
too much.
He seems delighted about this victory. Look at him.
Look at that.
Oh, he's always delighted. Look
That's
at
true. That's a good point.
I'm too much. Look at the snow. Ew.
Sure,
look,
man.
guys.
The North wins again. You see, he needed Clarice for that nose picking competition.
I think it's a fine nose.
I was thinking, what is that? What is the?
Is he having problems with his neck, Joe?
Maybe. Guys,
Snow Miser in
doing
mint
with that
condition.
Snow Miser.
Guys, thank you. This is tremendous. Once again, I think we have covered all the bases, and we have concluded another scientifically determined. I've lost all sense of words. I don't know. If you are on the internet, where would you like to be found, Kevin Eldridge?
Sure. Let me put my... There we go. I want my
Oh.
freaky lights on when I do the plug. I'm a podcaster. I'm the first podcaster to the king. Look at that. It says it right on the screen. My podcast is called The Flopcast, and it's just a very silly, nerdy show. And man, we obsess over like cartoons of the 70s and 80s all the time, which is obviously what we're talking about here today, 60s, 70s, 80s stuff. And we just get into this kind of thing a lot. We do competitions like this, tournaments like this periodically on the show. Joe joined us earlier this year for a Love Boat tournament.
Yeah.
And Gary joined us just a few weeks ago. We did a Brat Pack tournament also.
Yes.
So we do this kind of thing from time to time. It's always crazy fun. So I'm so glad that I could join you guys for some Rankin-Bass talk tonight. But you can find me on the Flopcast, part of the ESO network, and we're at flopcast.net.
Go find last year's Rankin-Bass tournament.
Yes, it's out there.
It's all out there.
If you want to see Clarice win this thing, go back to the Flopcast from last year. Yes.
And Kevin Cafferty.
GleamingTheTube.net is a podcast that endeavors to catalog and discuss every movie that features skateboarding in some capacity. We're trying to get a Bad Santa episode out sometime next week. That Kevin there was on a couple months ago talking about the episode of Wonder Woman where Linda Carter rides a skateboard. So be on the lookout for that. That's probably of the most interest to the Classics Track gang. And I have another podcast about the 80s detective show Moonlighting, which can be found at moonlightingpodcast.com. It's called Let's Get Chatty, about David and Maddie. And 90% of why we do that podcast is my friend Mike came up with that title and was like, well, we have to do the podcast.
You have to now. Yeah.
It was a moral imperative.
And the new episode of that came out this week, where we spent like half of it talking about Moonlighting and half of it talking about whether or not we think Joe Piscopo put out an album.
That I actually have that.
Yeah, it's got a Honeymooners rap on it.
Yes, it does.
I know that one. Dr. Demento used to play that. You get that?
It's not bad.
Eddie Murphy doing Ed Norton. Good stuff.
Yeah. I believe it might have been the last quality bit of entertainment that Joe Piscopo did. But look, I gotta stay on top of. I gotta stay in touch with the people whose name starts with Joe and then rhymes. I have to stay on top of those people. So, Gary Mitchel.
You can find me here every other Thursday with him doing this and more shenanigans like this. I was also recently on an episode of Execute Chapter 66, our favorite Star Wars fiction podcast, where we were talking Tarkin, the novel by James Luceno. Go listen to that if you like Star Wars.
And if you want to, on the crawl right there is, we want you to subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash it, crush that like button.
Subscribe, share.
We want to have more followers than like an 8-year-old boy who unboxes things. That's the goal.
And one day, Joe will be that 8-year-old boy.
One of these days. But in the meantime, come and hang out with us every 2 weeks on one of these things. Hang out with us semi-daily on our Facebook page, facebook.com/groups/American Sci-Fi Classics. Just Google American Sci-Fi Classics on the interwebs and you will find us.
Yes, today we posted a picture of reminding you about American Gladiators.
Yes, it could happen. So we will see you in 2 more weeks, which I believe will be the 30th of December. I don't know numbers, but
you are in Alabama.
Thank you. But guys, both Kevins, one of the Garys, thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us. We will see you all very, very soon.
Our topic being Sleigh Bells, the best holiday horror films.
And I says to Gary, when he presented me with this topic, I can think of 2. And Gary was like, here's 37 more. I was like, oh. So there's plenty. The only one I could think of immediately was Thanksgiving. Why was that the first thing to come to mind?
Because you have a quality mind.
Thank you. As always, Gary, thank you. Kevin and other Kevin, I'll let you guys decide who's the other Kevin.
We're both the other Kevin.
It's both of us.
Yeah, somewhere out there's Kevin.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. We're working on it. But you guys, we will see you in a couple of weeks. Come hang out with us. We do fun things. If you happen to be in Gadsden, Alabama on a random Saturday night, I'm a pro wrestling announcer. And I haven't gotten it hit directly in the head with a steel chair yet. But that's just because Gary hasn't made it to a show yet. It's coming. See? It's coming. Look at that. Look at it. So you guys, thank you. We will see you all very, very soon. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all the things. You guys are the best. We love you. Stay safe. We will see you soon. And join us in 2 weeks when Gary Mitchel will say,
but how did he get down that chimney without losing his sack?
Good night, everybody.
God bless us, everyone.
Oh, look, I don't have any toys. I've just got this hand cream.